Hey guys, been a little bit since a video. That's because I had a very busy and long week last week. My parents were in town. They just went back to Phoenix. They are now officially building a house here nearby in a brand new development from Del Webb. It's a very specific, all-inclusive 55 and up type community, very similar to what they have right now way out in Phoenix, and it's the first one in the entire Tampa area. So it's their latest and greatest, and it's just coincidentally and very luckily a few minutes down the road. It's going to be really cool, and even closer in a few years when they finish an extension road that's going to come by, like a mile down the road that goes straight to their entrance. So that'll be really cool. But yeah, they flew in, and they've kind of had the idea since last Thanksgiving, and my mom really kind of laid the plans for it this Thanksgiving. I told them to come out back then, and Dad didn't really believe me how fast things go out here. Well, a couple weeks ago he basically figured out that the lots were almost gone, and more importantly, they had already raised prices and they were going up pretty soon again. So he's like, okay, well, we're coming out. So they came out, and it was a whirlwind. We got everything done. Everything. Literally the next time they're out here in, 7-8 months, they're moving in. I'm their proxy out here, so I'll be handling all the meetings and the inspections and anything on site and, anything that needs to be taken care of here. So we are go. Luckily they had at this time the models in construction enough to really get an idea of what model they wanted. They kind of had it narrowed it down to a couple, and they walked through one and absolutely loved it. They decked the thing out. They got all the big options and all the upgrades they wanted. And then we went over after that and all the paperwork and went to their design center in Tampa and in Riverview and spent hours there picking out all the details for the interior and got all that done. And it was a process, but it's a big change for them because, like us, the last time they had done a house, they've been in this one now 20 years or so, and nothing was digital back then. So the last time they'd done a house just like us, it was hours of signing paperwork, and now it's all DocuSign. And they're like, whoa, click, 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 done. This is cool. So they'll be able to do their closing final, this coming summer from Phoenix, and just figure out the logistics of what they want to take, how they're taking the car, blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. That comes later. So now they're in the selling phase, which I think is going to be, for them, the big hurdle. Certainly getting rid of stuff, but fixing little stuff here and there. They don't have anything major to do, but they're in a really big house now, and they got to get it kind of up to modern realtor standards. I showed them some in their neighborhood with the same floor plans to show them exactly what their comps are, so they know what people are comparing it directly to. So now they got a better understanding what they have to do, and I'm sure they're gonna have a good realtor out there. They've already met with some, and they're picking it and getting that started right now this week. So that's all going, and of course it's a schedule to get things sold and moving and all that kind of stuff at the right time frame. They won't have a real good window here for quite a while. The first step in this county is permitting, and that takes 4 to 5 weeks. They'll probably get a firmer date window in a month, but that's still going to have a month or so of flex because it's in the middle of our rainy season. And depending on the point of construction of the house, when rainy season is and how bad the days are, because some days it's very predictable. You get a half an hour of rain here and you can set your watch by it, and that's it. And then some weeks it's a deluge for 48 hours. You just never know. So there is a big spread. Usually I would imagine the normal construction window time is a couple weeks, maybe 3. Well, here it's like 2 months. So that's just the way it is. But they'll definitely be in here by early fall at the very latest. So that's cool. Anyway, that's what's been going on around here. Oh, and their lot looks pretty much like ours. They're on one of the only preservation lots, and it's got a little stand of trees, and it's going to be pretty darn similar to this. And their backyard is built out like mine, with not quite a big a screened-in patio, but about half the size. And they're going to be able to enjoy their backyard just like this. And they really enjoyed their time here, kind of getting a feel for what it'll be like. But I got a project going on right now. Let's take a look. So one of the things I've been wanting to do is kind of make this easier, both on us, but more specifically for Chloe. We've got these tracks here for the 3 slider doors. And it's quite a 7 or 8 inch spread here, and of course with the mini dachshund, she's got to jump over it, and she can jump down okay, especially onto the mat here, but going up she doesn't really like to do that. Oh, there she is. She's like, "Hey Daddy, what are you doing?" So what I wanted to do was get rid of these risers here, these last 3, because the doors are always going to be in this orientation, and we only need the one that this one panel slides on. So I wanted to make this flat for her, so it's easier to step on. Well, I tried to buzz through it with the Dremel, got about that far, and burned through an entire Dremel disc, and it was almost impossible to get it even close to the deck. Wasn't even with the deck. I would have had to further then sand it down. This aluminum, I'm assuming it's aluminum because it doesn't sound like steel. It is tough stuff. I don't know what the hell it is, but it is not easily cuttable. I cut through the rebar in those parking blocks easier than this stuff goes through. Maybe it's just the angle I was trying to get it at, but yeah, forget that idea. And it's way too thick to try to cut and then bend and flex off. It would not break clean. This whole thing would pop up. You'd have to unscrew this from the deck and replace this whole piece if you really damage it like that. So I don't want to do that. So I had the idea of filling it in and making a flat top surface here. So all she has to step over is this 1 track width for this door. That's no problem there. And I also want it removable because I don't want to permanently damage this thing. And if we ever do want to do anything with the doors, I don't want to mess that up. Yes, you're a little cutie pie. So I wanted to pour some epoxy in here and just make it like a removable molded tray. Home Depot and Lowe's don't carry any kind of large container of epoxy. All they have are the little 2-part plunger tubes. Would have cost me like $50 in epoxy, so forget that. My next thought is this metallic gray silicone. It should look pretty much like the aluminum, so it'll blend in. Clear was going to be my first choice, but I know that the clear silicone doesn't actually dry clear. It gets cloudy, and that would look kind of funny, especially if it starts to get dirty. So I think this will be the better compromise. So my thought is kind of make a mold out of cling wrap and butter spray kind of as a mold release agent, cut out some ends out of cardboard to fit in there just to stop stuff from spreading too much. Lay that down as a base, get it molded in here real tight, fill it with the silicone above here just slightly, and then spray another piece of cling wrap and put it over the top and just smooth it a little bit, just almost to the top of here, or maybe right to the top, and then I'd have 2 channels. That would probably be fine too. And let that cure. And then this would just be a nice flat surface to step on, and you wouldn't have these tall things messing with their paws. So that's the plan anyway. It's all theory, never done it, but I think it'll work. So if it works, I'm all in it for $13 worth of silicone. And if it doesn't work, well, nothing's permanent, so no harm done. Let's give it a shot. Smells like popcorn out here. All right, so I got the wrap down, little stoppers cut for the ends, and we got it sprayed. So that should stop the silicone from sticking to the saran wrap. Let's go ahead and fill up those 2 tracks. Running back to Lowe's real quick to get 2 more tubes. Those are a lot deeper slots than I thought, and one took both tubes I bought. See, the mail came. This is just today's drop-off. This is from the Cigars for Warriors donation drive. I've got an update video coming in 2 days. My buddy Josh is coming over to help me run the video. I do a live stream once a week or so, sometimes 2 a week, depending on how many come in. Just get a whole table full of these, I mean stacked, 3 feet tall, and we go through and unbox them all live. So I've got 3 or 4 times this already in the office there. So that's everything so far. There'll probably be another stack or 2 by the time we do the video. All right, 4 tubes later, got it all laid in the track. It's slightly above the level. So now I've got the straight edge of the cardboard wrapped in saran wrap. I'm gonna spritz this with the butter spray and just gently kind of level it. Just use the 2 bars as guides, and that should smush it all in there. I'm not gonna worry about any extra. I'm just gonna let it dry against the cardboard or let it hang over, and I'll be able to trim that once it cures. Now, obviously it's super thick. I'm gonna let this set for a good 24 hours after it's done here before I even touch it. We're not even gonna use the door. Well, it was a good plan A, but I can't get it smooth enough. It's just not liquid enough. This is as smooth as it gets. You can see it piles up here at the end. It looks like ass. I'm just gonna have to order some epoxy online. There's just no stores around here that sell it. I gotta clean up the door here before it dries too. It got a little smudge on there. Good part is, all I have to do is lift it out. Back to the drawing board. There we go, a little paper towel, back to good as new. All right, so plan B, hit up Amazon. I'm probably gonna need 2 quarts of clear epoxy, and that should work a lot better. It'll give a nice level top surface without having to smush it. It almost worked, man. That first couple inches, that worked great. And then it even started to stick to that butter. It was just too thick. Just doesn't quite work for what I wanted. It's close though. So the cheapest kit that would cover that enough is 65 bucks. I gotta think about it. I gotta think if there's some other more inexpensive way I can do that and still have it look good. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today, guys. See you next time.